Ultra Reddit presence. Which psychological tricks should everyone know about?
Before we begin, do us a favor by clicking that like button, and subscribe to our channel for more top Reddit stories every day.
I've always found mirroring super cool. Basically, it's our subconscious imitating others' body language, gestures, attitudes. If you want someone to agree with you when you're asking them a question, nod your head while asking. People will be more likely to agree with you if you have positive body language, in this case nodding. Wait, so you're saying, no, are you serious? Hold on, I don't get that last part. Basically, active listening, more of a skill than a trick, I guess. It's a great way to get on people's good side. You share nothing about yourself but they walk away thinking you are a great person. Edit. I did not expect this much attention. Just to address those who think this is something that comes natural and should not be faked. Yes, you are right. You don't want to come off fake. But we've all been in situations where you have to mingle and fake it a bit. Also, some people are social anxious or just awkward and can benefit from keeping this strategy in mind. It keeps the other person talking and a little pressure off yourself. Here's a good one for parents I saw on Reddit a while back. If you want to enjoy some time undisturbed, tell your kids that you're taking a nap, and when you wake up all of you are going to do chores together. They'll want to let you sleep as long as possible to avoid doing housework, so they'll leave you alone to actually nap or do other things like read. Yeah, but you can't abuse it. Kids are nature's difference engines. They'll figure out you're full of shit by the third time if you don't actually make them do chores when you're done ramming the dragon up an orifice of your own choice. Neuroplasticity, your brain and mindset, can be changed throughout your lifetime. For example, if you're a negative person, your brain and neurological structure will literally be changed by your constant negative thinking. This reinforces more negative thinking and other health issues. The good news is that you can rewire and change your brain through establishing and maintaining better, more positive habits. Your brain will adapt and adjust. Fake it till you make it can actually go a long way in terms of shifting your mindset and mental health. Therapy helps too. I think this is what happened between me and my mom. When I was a kid, I told her I wanted to be an astronaut. Knowing that I was struggling in math, she went straight to the negative and reminded me that astronauts have to do lots of science, which involves lots of math. This sort of thing happened multiple times, most memorably with my childhood career choices, which she pretty much talked me out of each time. Astronaut, pilot, farmer, etc. all sounded super cool at the time. Now as an adult, I automatically think of the negatives while trying to decide on a career I want. But whenever I talk to my mom about it, she just thinks I'm being exceedingly negative and tries to tell me to think positive thoughts about everything. It's super weird to me lol. The real downside is I'm now super indecisive and pessimistic. Everyone should know the classic negotiation strategies / biases that people will use on you. Anchoring bias: you go to buy a couch, worth about $200. Seller sets the price at $400. Most people will feel awkward offering half price, and during negotiating the seller will protest a 50% offer. You are at a job interview. The interview hour always has a salary that they are not able to go above. You are asked for your preference salary range. Now your job is really worth about $60K, but you throw out $80K and make it clear that you have other prospects. The interviewer can't offer you $80K. That's silly, but they may raise their offer to $65K, or even $70K if you are a good catch. Basically, whoever puts a number out first is in the position to set the anchor. A starting point for negotiation. Foot in the door. Your friend asks you to help him move his couch to a different place in the living room. After moving the couch, he asks you to also help him move the TV, then maybe the fridge. Your girlfriend and you are out at a burger joint. She doesn't want anything, but asks for some of your fries. Before long, after eating most of your fries, she asks for a bite of your burger, and before long, she's eaten most of your food. To sum it up, to use foot in the door, ask for something that seems small, but is related to what you really want. Then once they've agreed to the small thing, just work up with slightly larger requests until you've achieved the desired outcome. Door in the face: your mooch friend is back, and asks for $500 to help with rent. You refuse, because he's a grown man and that's just way too much. He apologizes, and asked instead if you could spare $20 for gas. You agree. You are buying a car from a private seller offered at $5,000. You have a friend go to the seller before you and offer $2,000 cash in hand. The seller is insulted, and refuses. You come the next day and offer $4,000 cash in hand, and suddenly $4,000 sounds much better. To use this, offer or ask for something crazy. After the other party refuses, come back with what you really intended to offer or request all along. which now seems much more reasonable in comparison. Now, these are brief explanations and can vary depending on what blog/book/bathroom stall you read it in, and folks, try to use this info only for good, don't be a jerk. When I played tennis matches in college, right after switching sides after the first game, I'd ask my opponent, when you toss the ball up when serving, do you hold your breath, inhale or exhale? Always resulted in missed serves, double faults. You could definitely tell they were paying overly too much attention to their breathing for the remainder of the match. Get in the mind of your opponent and give them something to get distracted with and move in for the kill. If you are going to be at a meeting/dinner with someone you know might cause conflict with you, sit directly next to them. They are much less likely to start something with you right next to them in their personal bubble. On the other hand, sitting directly across from them is more likely to start something because you are right in their face and a safe distance away. The ability to mime things is based on your brain's ability to perceive where your limbs and such are without actively attending them. That way, you can make your hands act like they're pulling a rope without actually being able to see them. However, this same sense does not apply to things like your internal organs. You know your heart is there, but you can't consciously tell in the same way you can with your hands. As it turns out, your tongue falls just between these two categories, being inside your head most of the time. Because of this, brushing your tongue is one of the most difficult actions to accurately mime. If you're struggling with poor self-esteem, the way you think and speak about yourself matters. It's not easy to change your entire mindset, so start small. One of the easiest first step is to refer to yourself in the third person. Stop using I and me and start using he or she/they/ pronoun of your choice. It's easy to think stuff like I'm hideous or I'm a useless piece of shit or whatever. But saying she's hideous or he's a useless piece of shit feels different, mean, cruel. If you wouldn't say something that awful to or about another person with the same circumstance, you shouldn't say it about yourself. You're a human being too and deserve the same respect. Since this is Reddit, obviously this only works if you are kinder to others than you are to yourself. If you go around calling people hideous or useless pieces of shit, work on that first because you have other problems. If you want someone to like you, ask them to do a small favor once. If it is small enough they will do it, and in their subconscious mind they will have to choose between, I don't like this person that much but did the favor because I am a subservient person, or I did the favor because I like this person. Most minds will choose the later justification to preserve their ego, and you will have a window to get this peron to like you. Works wonders with coworkers. If ever you have a weapon pointed at you and you are facing the attacker, look them directly in the eyes and blink as infrequently as possible. Refrain from showing any fear, and the aggressor is much more likely to back off. Edit. Wow, this blew up. RIP inbox. To clarify a few things, this pretty much only works against someone who didn't have any intentions of killing you in the first place. If in a situation where you have been sought out, act before they can and seem crazier than them. Once they feel fear, they are likely to leave you alone. Sudden, unexpected movements make you seem much more dangerous. The Barnum effect and Barnum statements. I used to read my horoscopes and believe them until my housemate designed one for me using Barnum statements and fed me a super convincing horoscope. I legit was starting to believe he was psychic when he explained the Barnum effect to me, and my life was changed forever. Now I'm convinced all psychics are just con artists. My new housemate is seeing one and trying to get over her depression. I want to snap her out of it so bad, but she has a right to believe what she wants. The second I think it's doing more damage, I'm intervening though. This is long, so be prepared. Men are sensitive to the direction in which they face during conversations, women are not. Men, when having serious discussions, naturally tend to face each other at an angle or stand next to each other, never facing each other. Women face each other. When approaching a man, like a potential date or your boss, do so at an angle, and hold that angle when you talk to them. They're more receptive that way because they feel less threatened and more relaxed since it's a safe, natural position. That's an evolutionary thing, not an ego thing. Do not approach men head-on. It can cause their instincts to see you as a potential threat and be less receptive to what you're saying. Again, an evolutionary thing, not an ego thing. Women are not sensitive to this. However, your standing relative to them doesn't affect them, except if your back is turned to them, while having a conversation with them, but that's just rude and not really a psychological trick. If you want to break the ice with someone in an academic/professional setting, ask them for a small favor that will take them almost no effort, like, hey, can I borrow a pen for a second? Or do you have an extra sheet of paper / rubber band / thing of tape? It's really easy to create a situation where your request is legitimate, doesn't require further conversation, and they will associate you with the feeling of having done something good and useful. The vast majority of people like doing small favors for others. It's a good way to start a professional relationship if you're socially intimidated. People love talking about themselves, so be really personable with customers, and this works for a lot of aspects in life. Ask people questions, allow others to talk about themselves more than you talk about yourself. It's super annoying, but doing so emits, mostly, a positive reaction out of people. I bartend and I seem to get higher tips when I start the conversation by asking about their children, or telling them I met some of their family members. Here's one for parents: make use of the time restriction features electronics and apps have. That way when the timer goes off and your kid gets a warning that their time is up, it's the tablet that's telling me they can't use the tablet or app anymore instead of the parent. You'll likely avoid a power struggle by doing this.
Thank you for watching this fantastic story. Please tap one of the 4 videos on the screen for another amazing top Reddit stories.